This is PCB, your trusted PCB partner. Today we'll introduce how to highlight PCB nets in KiCad. During PCB routing, it's often necessary to highlight one or more nets to assess the rationality of the routing. In KiCad, you can easily achieve this through shortcuts, the Net Inspector tool, and the Appearance Manager. So first, let's introduce how to highlight a single net. In the PCB editor, all you need to do is press the shortcut key, the tilde key, which is the key to the left of the number 1 on your keyboard, to highlight the net under your mouse cursor without needing to select it. For example, if I place my mouse here and press the shortcut key, it will highlight these nets. Then, if I move the mouse here without selecting this trace, it will directly highlight the trace under the mouse cursor. And it's not just this trace, it highlights the entire net, so all traces connected to this net will be highlighted. See, this is the ground net being highlighted. And it doesn't matter which layer you're on, any selectable layer can be highlighted. You don't need to switch to the current layer to highlight it. So this is very convenient for checking individual traces. For example, after I've routed certain nets, I want to check individually whether they're all connected. If they're not, for instance, if this trace isn't connected at this point, then we'll see that only one point is highlighted, only one pad lights up, and the trace doesn't reach it. This makes it very easy to spot where a trace isn't connected. Then just press ESC to cancel the highlight. For example, if this net is currently highlighted, I can simply press the ESC key to remove the highlight. As for highlighting multiple nets, there are some differences between different versions of KiCad. It's called Net Inspector. In some versions, especially older ones, it's located in the inspection toolbar. But in my version, which is 9.0, it's not there. Instead, you can find it under the View menu, and then under Panels there's a Net Inspector. It's not a pop-up window, rather it's an option, and after selecting it, a list of all the nets will appear below. To effectively highlight certain specific nets, we can utilize the search function located conveniently here. For example, if I want to highlight all nets that precisely start with AN, I simply just type AN, and you can clearly see that it will automatically select all nets that begin with those particular letters. After carefully selecting them, you should then right-click your mouse and choose the option Highlight Selected Nets. As you can clearly see now, this entire comprehensive group of electrical nets will be prominently highlighted, which significantly makes it much easier and more efficient for you to thoroughly check a specific particular set of connections within your design. Just like this AN, it should be an 8-channel analog input, or maybe parallel data lines, or some differential pairs. You can check all of these in this way. It's very convenient. As long as you know the net names, you can do this. As we mentioned before, when naming, we should use a consistent naming convention. For example, this one is quite systematic, AN0 to AN7, which are the 8 input channels. You can see that all the related net names here follow a certain pattern, which makes it very convenient for us to look them up. Then, in the Appearance Manager, you can also easily highlight multiple nets or even a single specific net, allowing for precise visual identification. That's the one on the right, the Appearance Manager. The Appearance Manager has 3 options. We select the one for nets. Let's close this first. For example, if we're still working with AN, we need to cancel the highlight here first, otherwise it won't be clear later. I'll switch to another one. Let's change to this line. For example, if I want to highlight it, it's the same process, but this one can't be selected. It doesn't have a selected state. We just place the mouse over it, right click, and here you'll see an option to highlight this net. You can see it right away, so this is also very convenient. It gives you a lot of options. So how do you highlight multiple nets? Actually, it's within this net section. We've talked about how to use the net section before. Here it only sets up 2 net classes. These are the default and power. So for example, if we highlight the power net, you'll see that the power net is defined rather broadly. It includes all the 3.3V lines as power. We can highlight this net to see the effect. If we want, we can create much more detailed division. For example, here, you can choose to highlight a net and you'll see that it highlights all the power nets. If you want to check in more detail, for example, like the AN net we mentioned earlier, you can also create a net class named EH. Then here you can highlight it directly without having to select multiple nets. In this session, we introduced 3 different methods for highlighting nets and also explained how to use the Appearance Manager to modify these nets. For complex designs, making good use of the net inspection tools together with the Appearance Manager can make your design both efficient and visually appealing. Alright, that's all for today's content. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you everyone.